Hi, I'm Vicki.
Hi, I'm Ken.
Hi, I'm Jeff.
I'm Bud, and we are the Pickleball Crew. And welcome to the weekly installment of the Pickleball Crew's podcast. The Pickleball Crew is a group of pickleball fanatics based in southeast Louisiana, but passionate about all things pickleball anywhere. This week was another busy week for the Pickleball Crew. We were going to try a remote from the Exchange Pickleball and Bar in New Orleans, but we had some technical issues, so the crew relocated to Pelican Park pickleball courts for this week's episode. Ken will start us off with his review and updates on local tournaments. Then the crew will jump into a discussion of the pros and cons of indoor and outdoor pickleball. The crew will give us a tour of the Exchange Pickleball facility and an interview with the founder Renee Melchiode and Sasha, one of the Exchange pros. Ken will share their experience with Taylor Garcia, a homegrown pickleball touring pro, at a recent meet and greet. Jeff will tell us all about one of his Burrs Under My Saddle, and Vicki and Jeff will share a couple of shout-outs to finish off the podcast. Hey gang, and welcome to another episode of the Pickleball Crew. Today my three amigos are at Pelican Park's pickleball facility giving us a remote broadcast. We're going to start off as usual with Ken's tournament review.
Hey, great. Thanks, Bud. So, September. Let's start with September 16th, 17th is the first annual Slidell Pickleball Association tournament. This will be held at Crossgates. The only information I have so far is to email Terry at crossgatesclub.com. I think we'll try to put that email address at the bottom of the screen. It's 2 out of 3 to 11, win by 2. As soon as I get more information, we'll pass it along. But that's only 3 weeks or 4 weeks away, so I would jump on that one. Also, September 23rd, 24th is the Pelican Park Classic right here at Pelican Park. There's already over 100 people registered, and the rumor is that it's starting to get close to full. So registration does close on September 11th unless it fills up before then. So I would go to Pelican Park's registration page where you can sign up for the tournament, or call them and ask them, especially if you've signed up with a partner as a waiting list and you're trying to find a partner, they may be able to help pair you guys up. September 30th to October 1st is for the Love of the Y. That's at Lamar Tennis Center in Baton Rouge. This is a sanctioned tournament. Ronnie Walters is the host. Magnolia Classic is helping to run this, $80 per person, and that gets you 2 events. Registration is still open, so again, that's one that may fill up quickly, so I would jump on that. Let's jump to October. October 6th through 8th is the Fall Fling at St. Francisville. Registration will be open until September 1st. It's $80 per person, and that gives you 3 events. It's singles, mixed doubles, and men's-women's doubles. They're only allowing 200 people max for the tournament, and if you want more information, you can email Dan or Dave at wfpball@gmail.com. The application is a mail-in application, and it's also available on my Facebook page. If you want to go and look for it, just print it out, mail it in. October 14th, 15th, Vicksburg. The 2023 Fall Brawl is full, but they are accepting people on a waiting list just in case. October 27th through 29th is the Hollow Wheel Highland Park Tennis Center. This is always a great event. It's a great fundraiser, and it is full as well. You can contact Cindy if you want to try to get on a waiting list in case somebody drops out at the last minute. Let's go to November. November 3rd through 5th in Monroe, Louisiana is the LA State Game, Louisiana State Games. So there's mixed doubles, women's doubles, men's doubles, and the medalist will qualify for the 2024 State Games of America, which is the equivalent of the Nationals, which will be held in San Diego, California. Go to pickleballbrackets.com. You can register both at skill and age. Also, the same weekend, we still haven't heard about it moving, but it's the Louisiana Senior Games in Greenwood, Mississippi. That's November 4th and 5th. If we hear more information about it, we'll let you know. We don't even have a place at this point for you to register for it. And also the same weekend in New Orleans is the 9th annual tennis and pickleball fundraiser. This is for the www.raphaelvillage.org. We'll try to put that URL at the bottom of the screen. The patron party is on Thursday night at the Exchange, and the pickleball and tennis will be at City Park in New Orleans, where they've created 4 dedicated pickleball courts. November 11th, 12th in Daphne, Alabama is the Tom Burkhart Magnolia Classic. Registration is open. It's $50 per person. This is an MMP event, which means it's a medal match plus. So your finals and semifinals, some of your semifinals will be refereed. There's both gender doubles and mixed doubles. For your $50, you get both events. December, the 1st through the 3rd of December is the 2nd annual Boys Ranch Christmas Classic. This year, they're holding it in Slidell at Fritchie Park Gym in Slidell. Saturday is gender doubles, Sunday is mixed doubles, and Friday night is open play with a social. This will fill up quickly, I know it. We don't actually have a link yet to the application, but as soon as we do, we'll pass it along. And finally, December 9th and 10th is the 2nd annual Americana YMCA Pickleball Invitational. This is Chase Rigdon's tournament. Magnolia Classic is going to help run it. It's going to be in Zachary, Louisiana. There are already players that are registered. It is a USAP sanctioned event, and this, again, will fill up quickly. They always do a great job there, and it's a nice venue for playing pickleball. So that's it, Bud, for the tournament update.
All right, Ken, thanks. And now the group is going to jump into a discussion on playing indoors versus outdoors. So take it away, gang.
Go ahead, who wants to start?
My vote is outdoor.
So we were going to talk today a little bit about indoor versus outdoor, I guess pluses and minuses for the two. Right now, with the heat, a lot of folks are staying indoors, so that's a plus. Or with bad weather, we've been having a pretty good group out here at Pelican Park that has held up better than I thought in the heat. We just been coming and playing 2 to 3 hours, bringing plenty to drink, and also sitting down in between games.
Absolutely.
And cooling back off.
And starting out a little earlier. A lot of people are starting right at 7 a.m. to try to beat the
That's helped out some.
Well, one of the differences with outdoors, right, you've got the weather. You got sun, wind, you got the cold, you got the heat. So you got some elements to deal with. When you're playing indoors, you're playing in a climate-controlled area that the wind doesn't
Weather
really
controlled,
affect the
wind
ball.
controlled.
And really, that's why they use 2 different balls, right, for indoor and outdoor. With the smaller holes, even though there's 40 holes in an outdoor ball and 26 in an indoor ball, there's actually more negative space on an indoor ball. So the outdoor ball is a little bit heavier, and with the small holes, it's able to withstand the elements of the wind. So that's why there's a difference kind of in design between the 2 balls. But a lot of us if you've started to play pickleball in this area over 4 or 5 years ago, your only choice was pretty much indoor at that time. That's what we learned.
Right.
We learned over there in the white gym here at Pelican Park in 2018, and that's when this didn't even exist. It was still this was a baseball diamond at one point. So.
And getting back to the balls in general, this outdoor ball is a little bit harder.
A little harder.
A little harder.
Mm-hmm.
This one is a little bit softer.
Yeah.
So when you're getting tattoos from one or the other one, this might feel a little better. One problem for me indoors is usually surface and glare.
Yeah.
Have y'all noticed that?
I agree.
It's just a different set of elements to me. It's the lighting, the glare, the slippery floor.
And you've got a lot of them. It's temporary tape on the surface, and the tape itself becomes a slick point, for a ball to hit and skid. Not to mention the surface can be slick as well.
And not to mention that in most you're playing with temporary nets, but not your big sturdy temporary nets that we just experienced in 2 different tournaments. They're getting better and better all the time with these temporary nets, but the ones that we've traditionally played with in the gyms just allow for that flimsy top, so the ball hits it and just rides right over it.
Whereas the outdoor net is more like a wall.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to tip over as much.
Yeah, tightened up real
I've
good.
always felt playing outdoors, you had a more truer bounce than indoors. You could use the slick surface to your advantage indoors with spin.
Right.
And it kind of added another dimension to the game that, I don't know.
Could be unfair to some.
Whether it's fair because we're both
fair.
playing on the same court, but it just adds another dimension. But for the last 3 weekends, the 3 of us have had the opportunity to play indoor at the Big Easy, at the Hilton on those tennis courts, then at the NOLA Pickle Fest, where they had the pickle roll, and then just this weekend, just yesterday, we played at the Exchange indoors. So what was different about those 3 indoor surfaces than what we typically play is?
Those surfaces were good to me.
That was kind of an outdoor surface.
No
indoors.
doubt. Indoors.
Yeah.
And I think us playing outdoors so much, the transition for me going from outdoors to indoors, I feel a lot better because you're playing in the elements out here, then you get inside where there's no elements. Now, making that transition the other way, like when we first came, my first trip to Pelican Park, we had been playing indoors. This is the first place I ever played outdoors. Felt like a wild horse. Just could not control the ball.
Really?
No. So just the transition between the two, I think it's a lot easier to play outdoors and then go indoors instead of vice versa. That's what I think anyway.
Interesting, yeah. Well, given, the differences between indoor and outdoor, I would much rather play outdoor. Have a good day.
Y'all too, guys.
See y'all. But I would rather play outdoors, but ideally would be to play indoor and outdoor surface. So playing at the Exchange.
Yep. Yeah.
Playing on Pickle Roll, even playing at the Hilton.
If it's a better lighting.
Yeah, better lighting and permanent nets.
Yeah. Lighting's an issue sometimes indoors too.
Yeah.
It is. It can be. It can be.
The Exchange had their excellent lighting. The only one downside when you're looking at that bar area.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
It's a little bit of a
there.
distraction. But geez,
the surface is
minor.
really
The surface
nice.
is great. It's ample room to get to balls, and it's not only is the LED lighting from the ceiling, but you've got large windows, so there's a lot
of natural lighting, and that's I think a big factor if you could in some of these areas, and that's the downside to a gym is that you're not getting any natural light. There's not a lot of natural light. We've been at some where it was high up windows, but then it would create a glare on the floor the way it came in. So there's, definitely some challenges with trying to bring in natural lighting in these gyms.
Also consider the glare that you get from the open windows at Park. I mean, if they're right in your face,
yep.
That creates a problem. I don't mind windows indoors if they're on the side, but when they're in your line of vision, you're playing. To me, that gets very, very hard to watch the ball and follow the ball.
Yep.
Yeah. Those front 3 courts, you have to really change sides at 6 points because that's a little bit of a
disadvantage. Yeah.
Bud, so you've been playing pickleball probably longer than any of us here, and you played indoors probably more than us. What is your experience? You like indoor or outdoor?
And your preference, yes.
Oh, I'm much rather play outdoors. I don't like indoors, and I think it may be a function of my age, but my vision is much better outside than it is inside.
Mine
and
too.
quite frankly, everywhere you play indoors, they hit those orange balls. And to me, the orange balls are not as easy to see as the yellow ball, even indoors. So, if I have to play indoors, I'd rather play with a yellow ball than the orange ball. But I just don't like it. The surfaces are usually slicker. The ball doesn't come up as true a bounce. And I'd much rather put up with the wind than everything else that you get indoors. I've yet to play at an indoor facility that had what I would consider good lighting. And
I tell you, that convention center had nice lighting.
It did.
It was
And
nice.
that pickle roll, when we played at Senior Nationals in May of 22, they just put tape down on basically the
Slick
convention
concrete.
center
Yeah.
of Fort Lauderdale, which would have been like playing in the convention center at New Orleans with just tape on it. Those pickle roll courts, I know they're expensive, but that all of a sudden turns and that kind of indoor facility into just the perfect place to play. You could play all day there.
Made the experience much better.
Oh, it was great.
The cushion under your feet was better than playing on that
it
hard
was
concrete.
gritty. You kept your balance. You were able to move left and right. You had no fear of falling due to the surface. So I loved it. I really loved it.
Well, I started off playing at Crossgates indoors. There were no outdoor courts to play on. And I also remember one year they had the Senior Olympic State Tournament at Pelican Park in the Castine Center. And that is just concrete. And that was horrible. They had the in the ground lighting outlets, and it was really, to me, a poor venue for it.
Right.
So
And
like I
they
said,
had drains on the courts.
Yeah.
So it was, that was
I would
tough.
much rather play outdoors than indoors. That's just me.
Same here.
That's kind of similar to where the Pickle in the Dell was before it went to Crossgates. Was that the Pontchartrain Center?
Well, that was at the Harbor Center, and that's the same thing, Ken.
That's the same
You're right.
thing.
That's
And
a
the courts
concrete
were so
floor.
close together. You had drains.
Yep.
I mean, it's a good place to put a tournament when you don't, because you can put 12 or 14 courts, but there's some challenges there with the drain cover.
Actually, the best place I played indoors for a tournament, and I didn't get to experience Pickle Fest, but was at Pelican Park in the Brown Gym.
That was fun when we had the St. Patty's Day that went
we
inside
had to move
because
indoors.
Yeah. And that court surface gives you a little bit better bounce. It's not as slick. The lighting's a little bit better, I think. But I'm still an outdoors guy.
Yeah.
Well, I think that if you experience the floors at the Exchange and the lighting, it would be well worth it for you to take a trip there too and see what that's like. The surface was very nice.
It
Didn't
was.
y'all agree? The
Yes,
surface
for sure.
was really, really nice. So.
Well, speaking of which, that's a great segue.
Hey.
So we were just there at the Exchange, and Renee gave us a tour. She's the founder of the Exchange. It just opened on National Pickleball Day, which was August 8th, and we got a tour. So why don't we go to that video and go to the tour that Renee gave us. Ken Wynn here of the Pickleball Crew. We're on location at the Exchange at 2120 Rousseau Street down here in New Orleans. We've got the privilege of speaking with Renee Melchiode. Did I say it correctly?
Yes, you did.
She's the founder of the Exchange here. So the Exchange is just opened on Pickleball Day. Is that correct?
National Pickleball Day, August 8th.
National Pickleball, August 8th, 2023. So this is the only dedicated pickleball facility in the Gulf South that combines indoor, outdoor, food, music, drinks, all under one roof. And this is just a beautiful place. So we're fortunate enough to talk to Renee here. Renee, when did the dream begin from, the idea of opening up this place?
So in December of 2020, my family went on vacation. We played pickleball for the first time. And we were formerly a tennis family. We fell in love with the sport and walked off the court and said, this would be really fun in New Orleans, not knowing that there's obviously pickleball here before, but I didn't know. And I said, if we put a bar next to it, it would be a blast. From there, it just ballooned into what we have today. And here we are. We bought this building that's it's from the 1950s. It was an old metal warehouse, and it stored metals on the London Metal Exchange. It was just a dump that had, festered in the neighborhood, and half of it was used and half of it wasn't. And we took it and got an architect and brought it to what you see today.
Wow, that's great. So we're going to get a tour of the facility,
yes.
huh?
So obviously this is the entrance. This used to be a garage door here. This is where the trucks, and this was all leveled, because this is where the cranes and everything used to come in. And we put all these windows in. This was just a dark warehouse. And then we have the kitchen over here we put in.
So you have one outdoor court here?
One outdoor court. We'll go out there and see that.
Okay.
And the design changed multiple times, because during COVID there was the supply chain issues and cost increases and inflation. So we had a rooftop bar at one point that my children wanted, and that's since been cut. This is our front bar. Has not really been used yet, but it's a great event space.
And so what is this called?
Well, I think it's the Dink.
The Dink?
The Dink. So this is where you can rent out this whole area, or you can eat without the noise of the pickleball. We thought we would block it off so you could see it, but you wouldn't have to hear the sound.
But if you want to hear it, you can go.
You can go over there. So we put this wall in because this was one big empty warehouse.
Right.
Walk around the corner over here. We'll go to the outside last.
Okay. So there's 3 indoor courts here, correct?
Yes.
So what is the surface of these courts?
It's just like a hard court, an outdoor hard court.
Outdoor hard court?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so concrete. And then we applied the various applied acrylic, I think it is, on there. And we are a NOLA, exclusively a NOLA facility. So they did our dividers for us and branded our dividers. We kept the original bricks that are from the 1950s that are there that weren't patched. All these garage doors were put in.
So in the nicer months, you'd open the garage door to get some air?
Yes, hopefully in the fall. Are we going to get a fall? I don't know. But if the fall ever comes, that's what, it'll be indoor, outdoor. It'll be, hopefully, this is called eater entertainment. And the idea is that you're playing, eating, drinking, and you don't have to be playing to be out here.
That's nice.
Anybody can come. You don't need a reservation for the court. You just come on out. But this is our tech room, our bathrooms. Make sure there's no women in here. Hello, hello, hello. Our cute little bathroom.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
We do have lockers to rent. Hi, guys. Some of us don't get to play.
I love the exchange. It's so much fun.
So this is kind of the heartbeat right here, right?
This is the heartbeat. So this is where you...
This is great. You got a big screen TV.
Another one over there. We have a separate food and beverage contractor that's doing the food and beverage. We're all one big family, but it's an experience.
So is this more the restaurant area, restaurant and bar?
Both are going to be, but and so you can order.
So you can order food from either
place. The waitresses will come around and order at the table. They'll come to the court. They'll see,
Really?
Yep.
Really?
Help you fill your drink if you need, and then come over here. These are the other 3 courts.
Wow, that's nice.
Closets, and we have our teaching area, dividers.
So is this your instruction course over here?
It was going to be, but there's a pretty big echo there, so we're doing it more on the first court, and that way he can see. If there's an instructor here, they can kind of see people coming in and out. These are a little higher ceilings.
So this is nice that you can just have a drink or sit and watch people play.
So our furniture is not in yet. This is not the appropriate furniture, so it's going to actually be a little bit different. We're still renting furniture. I'm going to show you this little room here. So we do a lot of private events, but if you have an event that's like 30 or 50 people, you'd kind of be on this side, and then assuming my key works, so you could rent this room with this. So we pull this out. But
so for a private event, you would also get
this room,
this little room too.
And you can watch from there.
Very nice. Of course, NOLA was a big is a big ping pong company,
Correct.
right? So
yes. I think that's how they started.
Matter of fact, I think Ben Johns was sponsored from Yola as when he was playing ping pong as a younger.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
So you all know about the Yola people when they came this week. They taught lessons here, and we had some great clinics.
Good.
So I think I learned how to play pickleball.
So is there thought of putting on tournaments or leagues here?
So we actually have the MLP. We are going to be a Duper MLP facility.
Okay.
We're not big enough for a Major League Pickleball, but they're running a Duper waterfall on October 21st. I haven't even publicized it yet, so you're first to know.
Now, what is a Duper waterfall?
Okay. I've learned about it through them, but it's multiple losses. It's not like a single round elimination, and then you go by your points.
Okay.
To look it up what it is.
Yeah,
I'm not really. That's what they thought we could run. The most people will do like a 3-0 in the morning, a 4-0 in the afternoon, and then a 3-5 at night.
Got it.
And it'll be brackets. That's all I know about it. So
what are the days and hours that you're open?
So we are 7 days a week.
7 days a week?
8 a.m. until 11 p.m. is on the weekends is the hope. Right now we're still at 9 p.m. We're closing.
Okay.
So until we build up the clientele
and that's open play is all that time from 8 a.m. till
no.
9?
So we have specific open play days and times.
Okay.
So usually we run 2 to 3 open plays a day.
Okay.
And the rest of it
is reservations then, right?
Yes. Okay. You have reservations you can make. If you're a member, you get free open play. Okay. Otherwise, you pay $16 a person to play in the open play. It's 2 hours. Sometimes we do 3 hours. They'll have drink specials. And the rest of the time it's reservation. All these people are here on a reservation.
Okay. Great. Especially this gentleman in the black shirt.
This gentleman, my husband,
he's here on a reservation?
Yes. We gave him a discount, though, today. So if you remember, you also get discounted courts. You get discounted lessons. We've had pros from around the country. We've had a pro from Maryland come. We had 2 pros from Texas in the first week. We have visiting pros. I think Terry Lamperez is coming next week on the 27th. And we've talked to a bunch of pros about just coming in and being rotating pros because, I think that's... And then Sasha we have for our full-time. And someone named... do you know AJ?
Yes.
Okay. So he's teaching at night. He has a day job.
Okay.
But he's teaching sometimes at night. And mostly it's a lot of learn to play, advanced beginner. When we get the pros in from out of town or Terry, we can run a really good intermediate clinic.
Right.
But it's mostly just teaching everybody how to play pickleball in town, We have a huge out-of-town market. I'd say we're like 50% tourism is coming here.
So you're working like with the tourism department at all?
Well, we are working with New Orleans and Company.
And like the hotels that they would get some kind of a discount to come spend.
We haven't worked that out yet, but I think that's a great idea. If you know anybody in the hotel business.
Mm-hmm.
But no, so it's just they're finding us on Google. And
you're so close to downtown.
We're 1.3 miles from the convention center, so we had all the pros here. We had the whole PPA, the Mad Drops here. Did you see that?
Yes.
I had no idea. They came for 4 days, and we got to be first name basis with Arena and Thomas and Jesse.
What timing for the opening, huh?
Well, we pushed it for that. Between the Big Easy and that, we were... that's why our furniture is not here. And we opened without our food and beverage when we first opened. They didn't open until whatever the Drew Brees tournament was. That was that Friday. Yeah. Before that people were bringing their own food and stuff. So, but we knew it was important to be open for that event. It was wonderful. So let me show you the rest. My bar, my favorite people here. This is Phil, our food and beverage, a general manager?
How you doing? What is your name? Philip. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Y'all drank and ate here yet? Or?
Not yet. We're just getting a tour. We're with the Pickleball Crew, the podcast. Perfect. And so we've been talking to Renee for months now and we're just going to promote the exchange on this particular episode. So, so we're excited to see it firsthand. Talk to Renee, talk to you guys.
Great drinks.
Yeah.
He designed most of the menu and the drinks, and the specials, and we're trying to tag it along with football games and things that are going on in New Orleans. So
Excellent.
making it very local.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
So you come here, play pickleball, watch the Saints game. Huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the idea. So my doors are my favorite part.
That is going to be so nice in the fall.
Wow.
That's my pride and joy.
This is great.
Go all the way up.
So we've got cornhole, we have tables, we have an outdoor television.
We have a ping
Two
pong
of them.
table too that we have to bring out here. So if you have a private party and you rent these 3 courts and the outdoors, there's a door there so you don't have to go all the way around. There you go.
Oh, nice. Wow.
And this court is actually extra deep. It's 8 feet on either side and 9 feet in the back of each side. These are all 9 feet too behind them. The courts 4, 5, and 6 are really wide too.
Amazing. The first thing that I know, I'm gonna talk loud to get on your mic, but the first thing that I noticed when I pulled up here when it was just an old warehouse, I was actually scared to park my car. But now this facility has changed the look of this entire area.
Mm-hmm.
The parking out front is nice.
My neighbors have all gotten together. The city has gotten together. We moved some of there was some trash over there and some old cars that people were parking and leaving and chop shopping, and we've really cleaned up the neighborhood. Right next door is the Raphael House, which is a home for disabled adults where they teach them how to work in like restaurants and stuff. So they're our neighbor. They have the best coffee and scones you've ever had in your life. So, and they're building a new apartment building over there.
So you're helping remake this whole area.
I hope so. I mean, it's very walkable now. People walk by all the time and just knock on our door, and it's also a full food and beverage restaurant. So I'm doing my part, I hope.
Hey, this is Jeff with the Pickleball Crew. We're down here on location at the Pickleball Exchange in New Orleans. They just opened up about a week ago, and I have Sasha, who is one of their pros here. You've started doing some lessons and some different stuff. So how long have you been on the job? And tell us a little bit about how it's going.
It's going great. I have been here since Tuesday, the 8th, National Pickleball Day.
That's when y'all opened?
That's when we opened, and we had a brass band in here and had some champagne toasts and all that. And then since then, we've been doing Learn to Plays, which is a great opportunity for people who have never played the sport to come and get a chance to pick up a paddle. And by the time they leave after an hour, they know the score and are ready to hop into our beginners open play. And we've been doing beginners open play and then also intermediate and advanced open plays. In addition to clinics, drills, we'll do like a 2-hour drill session where players can focus on just hitting the same shots 50, 100 times, get some opportunities that they won't get on the court. And then we've also had some private lessons.
Okay, so if somebody wants to do a lesson through the Pickleball Exchange with you, how do they go about that?
They are welcome to call us at the Exchange. The front desk will be happy to help you. You can definitely call me. You want me to give my phone number?
You can.
I'd be happy to give my phone number.
Go ahead and give your
my phone number is 773-456-9049, and you can call me, text me.
So they can directly book with you.
You can directly book with me.
And you'll line them up.
And I'll get that done. You can book with the Exchange, and then you can also download our app, and you can book things throughout the app too.
So we know, me and Ken and Vicki and Bud know Sasha from Pelican Park. Always been a really good player. Did you ever imagine that you would be coaching, teaching pickleball?
Maybe like a pipe dream, you know. I thought, wow, this would be great to make some money doing this. And I did not think that it would be possible until I heard about this place. And then the gears started turning. As a musician too, I'm really excited. I'm talking to them about playing some live music here, coaching, playing. It's kind of, you know, I actually worked at a restaurant and a bar before this, so I briefly talked to them about doing some of that here, but I'm happy to just be on the pickleball side for now.
Good deal. Are there other pros here?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 2 or 3 of y'all on staff?
We have Terry coming in once a week even.
Terry Lamperez, okay.
And AJ is coaching here, teaching here as well. And then we have some other people who are coming in for some different clinics and stuff.
Good deal. All right. Well, we appreciate you talking to us.
Of course.
And look forward to seeing where this is going to take us.
Absolutely. Hey, bud.
That's it from me and Sasha here at the Pickleball Exchange.
Thumbs up, Pickleball crew.
Thumbs up, Pickleball crew.
Renee, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for
giving us a
coming.
tour.
I appreciate it. I watch your
This is a
blog. You're
beautiful
doing a great
place.
job.
Thanks.
You gonna come play out here?
We are going to come play.
I'll treat you. Okay, let me know when you're coming, and I'll let you give you a free
great.
court.
Thanks for having
me. All right,
Hey,
thank you
Bud,
so much.
from On Location at the Exchange in New Orleans with Renee, just saying goodbye to the Pickleball crew. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for that report, guys. We had a little event a couple weeks ago with one of our homegrown pickleball pros, and I think, Ken, why don't you start us off, because you held that event.
Yeah, so Taylor Garcia grew up here in the Mandeville, Covington area, and matter of fact, played tennis with her dad back about 10, 15 years ago, and she was always a phenom as a junior player, and really became an All-American tennis player, number one on her tennis team in singles, and a top doubles player. Well, this year, she decided to turn pro in pickleball, and we've been following her journey, and as a part of that, she came back for a meet and greet right here at Pelican Park, and that was on National Pickleball Day.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
So we've got some video from that. Hey guys, thanks for coming out. We got a special guest that we're really excited about, Taylor Garcia.
Hi.
So Taylor, believe it or not, her father and I played tennis many years ago when you were still a junior tennis player. She's a great tennis player. She started playing when she was 8. Born and raised here in the Covington, Mandeville area. I'm going to just read a couple of things here. She went to Our Lady of the Lake and then Mount Carmel over in New Orleans. In college, she was a 2-time All-American tennis player and captain at Washington and Lee in Virginia. She played #1 singles and doubles all 4 years while she was playing college tennis. She graduated with a degree in global politics, and she's currently pursuing her master's degree in international security. And she led the team in wins during her 5th year of college eligibility at Division I George Mason. And this year, she has turned pro in pickleball, and that's why she's here. She's here just to introduce her to everybody. She's been out here one time before, but we're excited to have her. She's now competing at the highest level against the pros, and if we've already started following her on YouTube and other venues. We're watching her play singles and doubles. So without further ado, I'd just like to introduce Taylor Garcia to everybody, and tell us a little bit more about yourself and you know what you've done this year and where do you see yourself going from here.
Sure, yeah. First of all, thanks everyone for coming out and for your support. I've been getting texts and calls from my parents saying, "Oh, the people at Pelican Park watch your match on YouTube," and whatever. So that just means the world to me. I think that's so cool. But yeah, I kind of just dived headfirst into playing pro pickleball in April after I finished my last tennis season. I took my 5th year at George Mason, DC area, and that's where I currently live. But I grew up in Mandeville, and so yeah, I just kind of was seeing stuff on YouTube and on Instagram, and thought, hey, I could play that pickleball sport. That looks fun. That looks pretty easy. So I might as well try it out. And I just joined a pro tournament 2 weeks into playing. I don't know what I was doing for. The referee was stand on that side. And I played Salome Davidze first round. She was 4 in the world at the time. And I lost 11-4, 11-6. And so I thought, hey, I just got 10 points off of one of the best players in the world. If I actually trained and actually put in time and work into this like I did for tennis for the past 13 years, then maybe I can do something. So I took all of May, June, and half of July pretty much to just develop my game. Started drilling a bunch, meeting with players just like yourselves at the local parks in the DC area, Arlington, Fairfax. Started training, getting better, and signed up for 3 tournaments in a row. I went to the PPA Denver mid-July, and then after that I went to the Beer City Open, and then I went to PPA Seattle. I just got back a couple weeks ago. So I'm really starting to hit the tournaments pretty hard, and I've found some good results so far. I've had wins over number 8, UD Castillo. I split games with Irina Terashenko. She's 5. I've beaten number 27 in the world, number 47 in the world. So I've just kind of steadily watched my Jupiter rise, and I'm looking forward to it going even higher and hopefully not pulling people like Leia Jansen first round Seattle last week. But yeah, no, I'm just really having fun with it, and like I appreciate any and all support, like even just a nice like comment or anything on my Instagram post is like super cool to see that people are actually following and caring. So yeah, thank you so much for having me here. I know this isn't like an official thing. I'm like happy to play with anyone. I'm real here, and I really appreciate it.
And you've got a copy of your is that your
I've got some links to my social media if y'all want to follow me.
You can either take a picture or just take one of them.
No, you can just take one of them. I've got like several copies there. Yeah, I'll answer any questions.
So coming from a top level tennis background, moving to pickleball, what have you felt like has been one of the biggest challenges adjusting from one game to the other?
Doubles, for sure. I would say transitioning from tennis singles to pickleball singles is really not all that hard. I found pretty quick success doing so, but doubles, just adjusting to the short game. I call it the short game, or my dad coined the term the short game, I guess, from golf. But like the short game strategy, thinking, stuff like that took me a little bit of effort to kind of master. I'm still mastering it, and I wouldn't say I've mastered it at all. I would say definitely strategy. It's just different. Like people think, oh, if you play tennis, you can play pickleball. Sure, but like not very well unless you actually work on it. So that's.
What moment was it in one of your first couple of matches where you said, "Hey, I belong here. I can do this"?
I mean, honestly, like I said, like at the first tournament when I played Salome, even though I lost, I said, you know what? Like if I hadn't been playing for 2 weeks, if I maybe had been playing for 2 months, then maybe this result would have been different. I just felt it in me that I knew I'd worked hard to get there.
That's great. You got the skill set for it. You really do. Just watching you play. Any questions?
You have a question.
Come on, guys.
I did. Yes, you did.
Did you play pickleball?
You even gave her time to think about it.
Kind of. I
yes.
would like kind of sneak around my coach's advice to not play pickleball, but I kept on seeing it, so I was like, I need paddles, and I got paddles for Christmas. They were like really bad, like Walmart paddles, but I got them and played in the driveway. I made my parents play with me in the driveway like Christmas morning, but not for real. Like I didn't even know how to keep score. And not really. I would say yes, but no. So it wasn't until like April that I actually
qualified for pro tournaments. Do you have to qualify to get into those? Or?
So for the women's side right now, just because there's not a lot of competition, no, I haven't had to qualify. As the tournaments start getting bigger, absolutely, I'm sure they'll implement qualifying. But I have kind of recognized if I can get in now and get my ranking high, then hopefully I'll skip that phase whenever it starts to occur. You had a question?
Yes. So now that you're a pro, you can look up yourself and stuff. But before you were a pro, like who was your favorite pro pickleball that you kind of looked up to and wanted to, I guess, be like or learn from?
That's a good question. I mean, of course, you look at the giants like Ben Johns and Anna Lee, and their game style has definitely been inspiration. I've watched several of their drilling videos or matches or whatever. But I mean, really, I just want to be me. Like I like my personality on the court. I liked who I was as a tennis player. I was / still am like super feisty, super competitive on the court, but very approachable off the court, funny. Like I'll probably say something witty on the court that'll make you laugh because it'll also make me laugh and like calm me down. But yeah, no, I mean, there's lots of great personalities on the tour. I still haven't met like everyone, so I don't want to like name drop crazy people, but, but it's been fun. Just trying to figure out who I am as a pickleball player as well as a person.
Why don't you tell the story when you played at the Beer City Open, kind of what happened in the Pro 10 as a uncredentialed pro playing in that tournament?
Okay. So at the Beer City Open, I was faced with yet again another hard draw. I had the week prior for context, I played in the PPA Denver Open, and I won my first round, and then I played Irina Terashenko's 5 in the world. She was the 2 seed of the tournament, or 2 or 3 seed, and had a good match against her. I took the first game, and then she ended up beating me in the next 2, and then the next the following week, I had to play at Beer City Open and I saw the draw again. I had a first round and then was going to be paired up against her if I were to win, which I did. And then I lost to her again. And so now I'm in the back draw and I'm kind of fighting my way. I won a match against the number 27 girl in the world, and then I beat UD, who at the time was 8 in the world. And well, actually before that, we had like a bit of a rain delay, and I was starving because you know the way these pickleball tournaments go is like they just start your bracket and you go match, and so I'm still trying to figure out the whole nutrition thing. And so I'm like, gosh, I really need some solid food on this rain break. Like, let me go in the pro tent and try to get some food. And so whenever I walked in, kind of was faced with like the pro tent guard, I guess you would call her. And I was like, hey, can I get some food? Like, I'm a pro, whatever. And she was like, yeah, let me check on that for you. And like goes and asks someone, comes back. She's like, yeah, sorry, like the food's only for the top 8.
In such a short time that you've been pro, you've already got sponsorship. Why don't you talk about that?
Sure, yeah. I'm really lucky to be sponsored by Ace Pickleball. That's my paddle sponsor. They've got great paddles, a great bag, some great gear going on, and the paddle that I'm actually playing with the club is coming out at the end of this month. So if you're interested, I'll let you try it out. You can get on the pre-order list. And then my clothing sponsor, Task Performance, local brand. That's nice to rep the hometown.
Yes, it is a hometown company.
So,
it's awesome.
Yeah, Task is awesome. I see you're wearing a Task shirt, so we got Task all around. Love this company. They've been nothing but nice to me in giving me a bunch of really comfortable clothes to play in and wear off the court as well. And then my shoes come from Second Serve Tennis Shop. There's one in Manville, one in Metairie, and there's one opening in Baton Rouge actually at the end of the month too. So Rob at Second Serve has been not only my first boss, but he's just been a great mentor and support system over the past couple of years playing tennis and now pickleball. So he's always like, tell me what to do with pickleball. I don't know anything about pickleball. So we're kind of like exchanging info now. He used to tell me all my tennis stuff. Now I'm telling him all his pickleball stuff. But yeah, great shoes. Go get yourself some stuff from Second Serve.
Well, that is a great company. I got my rackets from Second Serve. Matter of fact, our shoes are from Second
Yes,
Serve.
yes.
And he is a nice guy to deal with. That's a good company. And they have a Metairie and a Mandeville, and they'll move merchandise back and forth.
Absolutely, and now Baton Rouge too. At the end of the month, they'll be up there as well.
That's great. For you.
Sure.
At your level, you guys kick arse. I mean, you guys are incredible. Why the hell do your mixed doubles partners always take up my
That's a good question. I'll leave that one.
Or does it bother you guys at your level? Because I've heard both. I've heard it's just.
So me being so new, I'm not as bothered by it. I think I'm more surprised whenever I get like the toe stomp. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, take it. But like, I mean, hey, to be fair, like if you've got that left side and that's your inside forehand, if you're a righty, I want you to take that ball. Now, if sometimes I've gotten into it not gotten into it. That sounds very dramatic, but like I've told a partner to like, hey, have some confidence in me. Like, trust me a little bit more. I can get that ball. To most of the time, they're like, yeah, you're right. That's my bad. So I don't know. Maybe it's just some male ego. Guys,
I see Ben John's taking up that much room when he's playing with the #1 female in the world, and he's coming over 3/4 of the court or more. So, but
They win, don't they?
Drilling here at the 3540 level, and we're really focused on stacking. Vicki and I have been stacking. Do they stack a lot?
Absolutely, every point. Pretty much.
Deep offense, serving in both return to serve. You're stacking.
Yeah.
Keeping the guy's forehand in the center.
Yep.
Now, what about in ladies doubles? Do you stack very much?
I do sometimes. I used to like to play the right, honestly, but now I've kind of gotten comfortable playing the left, and I mean, I love my forehand, so that inside ball as my forehand is definitely very advantageous for whoever I'm playing with. Well, we'll switch around or stack.
So, with all your success, your quick success from tennis over here, any of your former teammates looking to jump into pickleball?
You know, I've tried to drag them out with me a couple times, and they have. Like a couple of my teammates from this past year, they've gotten on the court with me, but none as competitive as I am. So I don't know. It's different. I mean, it's harder than people think to switch from tennis to pickleball. You know, it's easy if you want to play rec pickleball, but like to get to the pro level, it's hard to find partners and, you know, be able to travel. Like traveling's expensive. So I'm lucky enough to have a couple sponsors and have some support from my parents. But you know, the logistics of it all is pretty difficult. So it's not as easy as you think.
Still a decent amount of pickleball hate, I would say, from tennis. From tennis. Any of that stemming, you know, these tennis people that you played with want to stick with tennis.
Call you a traitor.
The people that I play with, they're all really supportive of
Good.
Like,
Good.
you know, I'm still a tennis fan as well. And following the City Open was just in my backyard this past week, so watching that has been fun. And you know, I'm always down to go to a pro tennis tournament. Like I have all my. You ask me who do I look up to in the tennis world? I'll have like 7 people. But yeah, that I mean, I'm not a hater of either. Obviously.
Any idea of like how many tournaments like per year that you have a goal to do, or?
Good question. So since I kind of jumped in like mid-season, I guess, there's not that many left. So I've got 3 upcoming on the schedule. I'm going to the PPA in Kansas City in 2 weeks. Then I'm going to the APP in Chicago, and then I'm going to the PPA in Cincinnati. And those are all back-to-back. So that's my immediate schedule. And then following that in October, I'll have an event with my paddle company and maybe one more PPA that they're having in Las Vegas. So I'm just kind of playing it by ear, kind of flying right now easily, but next year I'll have a much more rigid schedule, probably like 2 a month, I would say.
That's great.
I was going to say, what about practice? How often do you practice and for how long? Every day?
For like 6 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah, I go in the mornings. Normally I play from like 6 to 8 a.m., get some breakfast, get a lift in for like an hour and a half, then I go out and drill for like 2 hours, then I'll maybe play open play or some doubles practice or more drilling in the evening around 5, 6. Yeah, for another 2 hours. So yeah, I would say at least 5-6 hours a day.
I was going to ask something along the lines of that. Like, what's your preparation for a tournament? Like the week before, day before, and then the recovery after?
Yeah, so week before, I kind of take it easier on the lifting side, more mobility stuff, agility training, not as heavy lifting, more explosive movements, and then on court, just drilling a ton. Maybe I'll play a little bit more than I drill the week before a tournament just to like get my body used to like playing points, because it is different. But you know, outside of tournament time, drilling more than playing for sure, like 1000% drill, just to master that. Because if you think about it, like if you're just drilling, you can get in, you know, hundreds of hits versus if you're playing in a game or something, maybe you'll hit the ball like 20 times. You don't realize how little you hit the ball in a game. Varies. I would say it depends on, you know, what I'm doing on the weekend.
Do you take a couple days off after a big tournament?
Yes. Definitely. After my 3 weeks in a row of like traveling all over the West Coast and middle of the country, I was like, I'm not. Paddle down. Like.
Any other questions? Well, look, Taylor's here to play with you guys. So
definitely.
We'll put Taylor maybe on court 1 and court 8, and just 3 of you guys jump in and start rotating. And you know, we're really privileged to have her out here, and we just want everybody to get to know her and follow her on social media.
Right. Repeat. There's some flyers there.
So
please
much.
take one and please follow her on her social media.
Oh, well, 2013.
That was a great video, gang. We really appreciate that. And now I think it's time for Jeff's Burr Under My Saddle.
You're burr under my saddle. You're a thorn sticking in my side.
All right. Got a look, kind of an interesting burr under my saddle this week. I want to clarify first. There's 2 sets of bangers out there. Okay, you have the bangers that play with bangers. They like banging the ball, hitting it back and forth really fast. That's fun to them. Who is anybody to tell them that that's not how they should play? But the burr under my saddle this week is for the bangers that also want to play with higher level people. And all I got for that is, for those bangers out there that want to play with higher level people, block and reset. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, come up to one of us and ask us, and we'll talk to you about it. That is this week's Burr Under My Saddle.
As always, interesting. All right. I think we got a couple of shout outs this week from Vicki and Jeff. So Vicki, why don't you start us off with those shout outs?
All righty. Let's see if I can read this with my eyes. My first shout out is to Craig Forshag, Director of Sales and Volunteers for the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation, and Ellie Hamblin, Communications Manager with the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation. They were both pivotal in me setting up an interview with Jay Cicero, who is the President CEO of the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation. And we just had a terrific interview with him, learned so much about Pickle Fest, NOLA Pickle Fest, and how it came to be. It was a great interview, and we just really enjoyed it. We truly appreciate Craig and Ellie's help in getting that together. And my other shout out is going to be for all those pro players who came to the tournament, NOLA Pickle Fest. They were just so patient and lovely and took pictures with everyone, played with people on the courts to practice and warm up. I think everyone had a great time getting to meet them, and we just appreciate their time and being down here to make the event so successful. And my last one is for all of us Taylor Garcia watchers, just to keep an eye out. She's going to be playing in the PPA Kansas City tournament, August 24th through 27th. So that's coming up real shortly. So keep your eyes open for that. Taylor, we're watching you and wishing you the best. And Jeff has a shout out.
I have a special shout out this week. I want to give a special shout out. We went to Ascension Parish, Lamar Dixon, on Tuesday night, and we ran into Steve and Jan Shelton. And Steve came up to me and he said, "Jeff, I just want to tell you, buddy, y'all's podcast, it's the best I've ever seen." And he was just going on and on about it. And I was like, "Steve, I really appreciate that." So I just wanted to give him a special shout out. Now, at the end of all those compliments, Steve did tell me, he said, "Jeff, it's the only podcast I've ever watched." So just thank you, Steve, for making us feel so special.
Thank you, Steve.
That's great. I love it.
That has the speechless.
That's a real high bar we had to achieve.
That's right. That's right.
All right, gang. Is that it for today?
That is
Think
it.
so.
All right. It's been another great episode. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And as always, if you like this, please subscribe. But until next week, we'll see you all later. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Well, that's it for this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave any comments and please like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks again and see you next week.